All right, let's just dive right in. The universe is absolutely packed with these jaw-dropping sights, right? But sometimes the coolest discoveries aren't just what we see, but the secret patterns that tie everything together. Today, we're going to unravel a cosmic mystery, one that connects the unbelievably huge with something you might see right here on Earth.
So, take a look at this. On your left, you've got the incredible Pinwheel Galaxy, Messier 101. And on the right, that's Typhoon Rama's sun, a massive storm churning over our planet. Now, these two things couldn't be more different. One is a sprawling city of 1 trillion stars, the other, a swirl of clouds and wind. And yet, the resemblance is just wild, isn't it? So that's the big question, right? How in the world can a storm and a galaxy operating on scales we can barely even comprehend, in totally different environments, end up looking like twins? I mean, is this just some cosmic coincidence? Or is there something much, much deeper going on? Well, the answer, as it turns out, is the key to a puzzle that nature has been leaving for us all over the place. It's like nature has a favorite shape, a kind of universal blueprint that it just loves to use over and over again. And that blueprint is this beautiful, elegant, mathematical shape called a logarithmic spiral. The philosopher Descartes was one of the first to really study it, but it was so mesmerizing that it earned the nickname Spira Mirabilis, which means the miraculous spiral. What makes it so special is that it grows, but it never changes its shape. You could zoom in forever, and it would always look the same. And here's the really mind-blowing part. Once you know to look for it, you start seeing this spiral everywhere. In the tiny, spiraling tracks of subatomic particles, in the perfect, efficient packing of sunflower seeds, the classic shape of a nautilus shell, and get this, even in a head of cauliflower. Yeah, from the unimaginably small to the vegetables in your kitchen, nature is using the same design. Okay, so let's get back to our star of the show. Literally, we are going to focus on the Pinwheel Galaxy, known in the catalogs as Messier 101 or M101 for short. And there it is. Just wow. M101 is what astronomers call a grand design spiral galaxy. All that really means is that it has these gorgeous, perfectly clear spiral arms. It's a real supermodel of a galaxy. And if you've got a telescope, you can find it hanging out in the constellation Ursa Major, the Great Bear. Now, to really get a feel for what we're looking at, let's talk scale. M101 is about 25 million light-years away. So the light from this galaxy that we see tonight, it started its journey across space when the very first human ancestors were just starting to evolve here on Earth. That's just unbelievable.
And it's an absolute giant. The galaxy itself is about 170,000 light-years from one end to the other. That makes it way bigger than our own home galaxy, the Milky Way. So let's bring that comparison back home. A typhoon, which feels monstrous to us, right? Maybe 1,000 kilometers wide, stuck here in our atmosphere. The Pinwheel Galaxy is in deep space and is nearly 2 quintillion times wider. It's just staggering. And yet, there it is, that same graceful spiral pattern connecting them both. But this is where the story gets a really fascinating twist. That perfect, serene, postcard-worthy spiral we're looking at, well, it's hiding a much more chaotic and frankly violent reality. Yeah, turns out M101 isn't perfect at all. Not by a long shot. Astronomers have figured out that it's actually pretty lopsided. Its shape is asymmetric, which is a huge flashing sign that it's been through some stuff and is still being disturbed. When we look at the galaxy with different kinds of telescopes, that perfect spiral image really starts to break down. These other views show these massive, lopsided trails of gas and stars being flung out into space. This is the evidence of a really rough, turbulent history. So what's causing all this drama? Well, the culprit is gravity. M101 isn't alone out there. It's trapped in this cosmic, slow-motion dance with a bunch of smaller galaxies nearby. It's like a giant being pulled in every direction by its little companions. And we've even identified the main troublemakers. 2 of them are these dwarf galaxies, NGC 5474 and NGC 5477. For hundreds of millions of years, their gravity has been yanking and stretching M101, pulling its once neat and tidy arms all out of whack. In fact, if you look in ultraviolet light, you find the smoking gun. The spiral arms, they aren't smooth curves at all. They're actually a bunch of crooked, straight bits, almost like they've been bent. And that is a telltale sign of a powerful tidal interaction, the same force that causes ocean tides.
but scaled up to a galactic showdown. So the crooked arms are one mystery, but that's not the only weird thing about M101. The way it actually moves, the way it spins, is a whole other puzzle. You'd think, based on all the stars and gas you can see, that it would spin like a record on a turntable. You know, the stuff on the outside moves a lot slower than the stuff on the inside. Makes sense, right? But when astronomers measured it, they got a huge surprise. Okay, this graph shows the rotation speed. Instead of the speed dropping off as you get further from the center, it just stays flat. It's just wrong. The stars way out on the edge are whipping around way too fast. And the only way that's possible is if there's a ton of extra mass we can't see, a huge halo of what we call dark matter, holding the whole thing together with its gravity. So let's just take a step back. We've got this enormous, lopsided galaxy getting shredded by its neighbors, spinning in a way that seems to defy logic. It sounds like pure, absolute chaos. But let's bring it all back to where we started. Because despite all that violence, all that disruption and chaos, when we pull back and look at the whole picture, the overall shape can still be described by that one simple idea, a simple and beautiful mathematical curve known as a logarithmic spiral. And that, right there, is the most profound thing. Even in a system as messy and complex as a giant galaxy getting pulled to pieces, this deep, fundamental, and elegant pattern still shines through. It's like the universe is showing us that underneath all the chaos, there are these simple, universal rules that shape everything, from a storm on Earth to a galaxy in the void. It proves that we can find order in the most unexpected places. Which kind of leaves us with one last, really fun question to think about. What other universal blueprints like this are out there, just hiding in plain sight, waiting for us to see the connection?